Willie D Live.
I was talking to this brother about mental health. I said the reason why a lot of y'all have mental health, and this is for the guys who 30 and 20 and 40, a lot of them have mental health issues because somebody told them that men don't talk to each other, which I'm 51. I grew up in an era where we couldn't wait to tell each other what happened. We didn't have this embarrassment about everything, and then you embarrassed with your friends. And that's weird to me. That's something that I don't even understand, being embarrassed with your friends. And I think that most people don't have real friends. So me being able to say the things that happened to me like I'm talking to my friends. And my friends know that day I was out there with that, because I called them and say, man, let me tell you something, boy, it's hot outside. And he said, what you was trying to do? Cut this grass. And they was like, for what? Man, you better hire somebody to cut that grass, And like Marcus always say to me, he said, man, Erica, his wife, he said, that's the man of the house. Erica know everything that's going on in the house. I just live there. He said, even down to the remote. He said, man, I call, hey man, how you cut this TV on? Because that's not what he's doing all the time. He's not at the house doing stuff all the time. So knowing that I'm not embarrassed with my friends, I can just say the things that happened to me. It's it's a new story that I just did about how I had a boil on my leg, and I was in the barbershop in Midtown, and Jason and Jason and Rob like, man, what's wrong with your leg? I said, man, I got a boil on my leg. And they was like, well, you want me to lance it for you? I was like, man, y'all don't know what y'all did. Man, we got all the same stuff. We got razors, we got iodine, we got peroxide, they got all the stuff, right? So I let them do it. They cleaned it out, and then I went home, and the next morning I woke up, my leg was a little stiff. And I got scared and went to the doctor. And I went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, hey man, who did this? I said, dudes in the barbershop. He said, man, they did a pretty good job, man. Ain't really nothing wrong with your leg. You just probably just need some antibiotics. But you straight. And so I waited until I went back to the barbershop 2 days later. I said, hey, I walked in. I was like, man, gotta tell y'all something. They like, what's up? I said, man, I got scared and I ain't trust y'all. And I went to the doctor. They was like, oh, man, that's weak as hell. You ain't think your boys knew what they was doing? But I had to tell them that I got scared because my leg was stiff. But they did a good job. I'm not embarrassed to say to my friends whatever's going on with me. Whether it's relationship woes, whether it's children woes, whether it's, hey man, something financial, because man, I didn't invested in something before, and it didn't pan out, and they told me, hey man, I don't know, and then I lost my bread, and then I came back and said, damn, but I told them. So my friends are not gonna let me have a mental health condition. They're not gonna let me wallow in something that's wrong with me, because I'm gonna say it. And as a man, I don't listen to gossip. I listen to give a solution to the problem that I'm hearing. So my friends count on me, I count on them. So therefore, I don't have any type of mental health issues with what's going on with me. And I think men in their 40s and their 30s and their 20s need to learn to pick valuable friends, people who can be valuable to them, and be valuable to those people as well, and talk to each other more. Don't have all this bottled up, all these bottled up problems. If you talk, because that's when you when you have mental health, what they gonna tell you? They gonna send you to a therapist. What you do there? Talk. Now you talking to a stranger.
Mm.
Now you talking to a stranger that don't know you, and they starting you in places that you may need immediate help. I don't need to go back to what my father did in 1973. I need immediate assistance right now, and that's what my friends give. That's what the men of my generation give. That's why I've always had respect for when I go to a corner store and I see men still in their work uniform talking on the back of a truck. What they talking about? They talking about what's going on with their life. You know, hey, whether it was something bad at the job, whether it was something bad at the house, whether they going through something, man, damn, I think Karen finna leave me. You know what I'm saying? They talking, and because that's what men actually. It's not a woman's thing. It's not. They're not gossiping. They talking about things that affect them. So that's the curve for mental health for me in my generation.
You ever had something happen to you that was not necessarily embarrassing, but was funny, that you had some trepidation about telling your friends because you knew they were going to laugh at you, but you went on and told them anyway because you just had to tell somebody about this goofy shit?
Got to tell them. You know, that's the thing about, man. That's the thing in the story. You gotta say it, and there's gonna be something. Especially when you have good friends.
Mm-hmm.
You have real good friends that sometimes the thing that you really embarrassed about happened to them as well. They like, boy, let me tell you when this happened to me. Same thing happened. You know what I'm saying? And you be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? And then you think, why you ain't tell me? He's like, man, should be them. You know, then they told another friend. You know, so the circle of friends is really valuable. Man, I remember my boy was going through something with his wife, and he told Marcus, and Marcus told me, and I called him. I said, come on, divorced ass nigga, you trying not to tell me that you man, who told you? I said, I'm with the nigga right now that told me. He said, hey, nigga, you trying to hide the shit from me. And he's like, man, goddamn. I'm like, but that's the thing. And then I'm on his neck. You about to leave your house, nigga? Is you crazy? And me saying it, Marcus saying it, they've been together 25 years. They were supposed to get, this was happening when at year 15. That's 10 years ago. So sometimes you got to hear that something that you may be going through, a decision that you may make, sound crazy. And so with my manager is very good at giving me the flip side of the coin. The director of all my specials, Eric Abrams, he's very good at some things I've wanted before. He's like, say Rugged, right? This is a prime example. Rugged was originally called I'm Not Handy. That's what it was originally called. Eric editing it, doing all the editings on it and getting it together, and he called me and said, man, I don't know about this title, man. I think that it's a little more than that. Man, this is very rugged. And I said, what? He said, I think it should be called Rugged. And I said, let me chew on it for a little bit. And I think I called Eric back in about 15 minutes, if less. I was like, yeah, I'm with it. But he also named Domino Effect. First Domino Effect was supposed to be called 1983. Because that's where it started. And I was going on the year, like, man, I'm going to just call it 1983. Eric called me. He was like, nah, man, I think it should be called Domino Effect. Gave me his reason. And I said, you know something, Eric? You right on with that. But that's going back to the ideology of three brains is better than one. You know what I think sometimes may be surface because that's I'm busy creating the rest of it, so the title may be real surface. But when somebody else is seeing it and they watching it and they shot it, they like, nah, it's bigger than that. And so you go with the people that you entrust with your artistry. Why wouldn't they have a good opinion about what the title should be?
Yeah, you doing your thing, man. Like you really, really are giving the public that work. I mean, I'm talking about this is top tier work, man. This ain't just work. You know, some people work, but you're putting in legendary work. Like you, the stuff that you're doing right now. People are going to be talking about this for a long, long time. We're talking decades and decades, and they're going to study you. I promise you that. They are going to study you. They're going to study you. How you pretty much put yourself on. You're independent. You put yourself on, but how satisfying is it to be able to put others on like you did Marcus D. Wiley and help him do millions of views on YouTube?
Oh, man, it's invaluable to wait a minute, that's next level to me because I would tell people, hey man, you should let me shoot your stuff. You should let me, put an eye on it. Because a lot of people would let me put a pen on the paper for them, but not give it a clear vision. Marcus is special for somebody to trust you with they work, and you say, hey man, listen, bro, I'm going to put my best foot forward for you, and I'm not only going to put my bread behind it. I'm going to do the other intangibles that a network is not going to do for you. And so I opened my whole team up to Marcus. It wasn't just me. It's like, bro, this is the team. It is Matt, it's Joe, everybody that's a part of my thing, Ryan. And I said, bro, just trust me, man. And he did. And it was invaluable for my friend to trust me with his art and to put another independent on, because he's independent as well, to make another independent more independent. Because, he touring with me, but this is how I see that. If I go do a movie, I go do a sitcom, then like with other guys, they go do a movie, a sitcom, then that stop the people money that's touring with them because they only touring with them. And a lot of these people don't have an outlet on their own. They're not getting the money on their own. So my thing was, Marcus, I'm going to teach you how to fish. You doing your thing, but let's enhance that, and I'm going to teach you how to fish. I'm going to open up every aspect, and I don't want you to have the pitfalls that I had. I don't want you don't have to go through that. You don't have to wait, and you don't need to get those scars that I already took in those scars for you. So his project doing what it's doing, man, it's gonna make 5-6 million views because it's only been out a month and a half. He had 2 million, and it's a good body of work that I think that a lot of people should watch in order to enhance your relationship, rebuild your relationship, have your relationship strong, and it has a message to it. So it was just a wonderful thing. The feeling of shooting the special and then his tour schedule crafting his tour schedule. You know, that's Joe's job to get him in these spaces. Something that he hadn't had before. You know, he was doing it on his own. And coming with this team, special and tour schedule and marketing, showing them the difference and elevating him to other people's eyes and stamping him and validating him. Hey man, if you like what I do, you're gonna like this.